मसीह उतरा है। अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वहदहू ला शरीका लहू व अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहू व रसूलुहू। अम्मा बादु फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनुस्तजीबू लिल्लाहि वलिर्रसूलि इज़ा दआकुम लिमा युहयीकुम। Surah Al-Anfal, verse number 25. O ye who believe, answer the call of God and that of the Messenger when he calls you, so that he may give you a spiritual life. Yesterday in his Friday sermon, our beloved Imam, Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz, spoke about the legacy of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. He shed light on the significance and importance of 23rd of March in the history of Islam, Ahmadiyyat. Hazur Anwar mentioned that this day marks the fulfillment of a grand prophecy which was made by the Holy Prophet of Islam, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Over the course of his khutbah, our beloved Imam Hazur Anwar then mentioned how the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam once wrote, if there was a person who with sincere heart were to pray to God regarding the truthfulness of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, 40 days would not pass, but before 40 days would pass, Allah the Almighty would reveal to that person regarding the truthfulness of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. अगर सच्चे दिल से कोई मेरे मुतालिक अल्लाह ताला से दुआ करके रहनुमाई चाहे कि अल्लाह, क्या मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम अहमद कादियानी अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम वाक़यतन तेरी तरफ से हैं और इस दौर में इमाम महदी और मसीह बनाकर भेजे गए हैं, तो अभी इस दुआ पर 40 दिन ना गुजरेंगे कि अल्लाह ताला उस शख्स को मेरी सदाकत की बाबत रहनुमाई फरमा देगा। अल्फाज मेरे हैं लेकिन मफ़हूम हज़रत मसीह-ए-मa'ood अलैहिस्सलाम ही के इक़्तिबास से लिया गया है। So what I want to do today in my address this evening before you all is to share the tales, the stories of those people who prayed to Allah the Almighty and Allah listened to their prayers and then revealed to them regarding the truthfulness of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. And then I will share some more stories about people who experienced that spiritual life, a spiritual vigor, a new change in them, which was the ultimate purpose of the promised Messiah ﷺ's advent in the first place. In his book, Tazkiratul Shahadatain, A Tale of Two Martyrdoms, promised Messiah ﷺ wrote, खुदा इस जमात को एक ऐसी कौम बनाना चाहता है, that Allah desires to make this jamaat into a nation जिसके नमूने से लोगों को खुदा याद आवे which becomes a model for the people in such a way that when people look at this nation, they remember God. और जो तकवा और तहारत के अव्वल दर्जे पर कायम हो, who are established at the highest levels of piety and cleanliness, spiritual cleanliness, और जिन्होंने दर हकीकत दीन को दुनिया पर मुकद्दम रख लिया हो, who have in the real sense given precedence to their faith over all things that are worldly. Tazkiratu Shahadatan, page 76. I begin with the story of Hazrat Munshi Abdur Rahman Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He accepted Hazrat Masih-e-Ma'ood alayhi salatu wasalam in the very first year, and when Masih-e-Ma'ood alayhi salam in the year 1889 on the 23rd of March initiated the Bai'at, I believe it was probably a day or so after that Munshi Abdur Rahman Sahib came to Ludhiana where the Bai'at was happening. But the story becomes even more interesting if I was to take you a few days back. There were three friends, actually four. Hazrat Munshi Zafar Ahmad Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Munshi Aroda Khan Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Abdur Rahman Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and Muhammad Khan Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Out of these four friends, three of them accepted the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam pretty much the very first day that the first Bai'at happened. However, the fourth friend, Munshi Abdur Rahman Sahib, did not come. He said, I want to pray to Allah Ta'ala. So he prayed to Allah Ta'ala fervently. And he said, Oh Allah Ta'ala, show me a sign if Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian alayhi salatu wasalam is indeed from you. His friends by now had already come to Ludhiana. So he saw a dream. In that dream, he heard a voice. And the voice said, Abdur Rahman, Aja. That, oh Abdur Rahman, come. Look, we do not believe that Allah used to speak in the past and now Allah Ta'ala does not communicate. We believe that even if with sincerity of heart you were to pray to Allah, Allah will respond to you. And look how beautifully Allah Ta'ala responded to him. When he prayed to Allah Ta'ala, Munshi Abdur Rahman Sahib heard the voice, Abdur Rahman, Aja. The next story that I have brought is that of Maulvi Rahimullah Sahib of Lahore radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He was a sage. He was a Sufi, a pious man of God. He was so close to Allah Ta'ala that oftentimes when he would be praying, leading prayers, he was an Imam. Oftentimes when he would be leading prayers, Allah would reveal to him different things. Imagine seeing a vision from Allah the Almighty while you're praying to Allah the Almighty. So this man was of no small stature. He says that when he heard about the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, he did istikhara. He prayed to Allah the Almighty regarding the truthfulness of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. He says, मैंने हज़रत अलैहि सलाम के दावी के मुतालिक इस्तिखारा किया तो जवाब में एक डोला यानी पालकी को आसमान से उतरते देखा और मेरे दिल में अलका हुआ कि हज़रत मसीह आसमान से उतर आए हैं। जब पालकी का पर्दा उठाकर देखा तो उसके अंदर हज़रत मसीह-ए-मa'ood अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम को पाया, यानी हज़रत मिर्ज़ा ग़ुलाम अहमद कादियानी अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम को। तब मैंने बैत कर ली। आपके बारे में असहाब अहमद की जिल्द नंबर 1 में ये बात आगे लिखी है कि आपने उस वक्त ईमान लाने में सबकत की जबकि दीगर उलमा अपने सीनों में कुफ्र के फतावे की आग में मुश्तइल कुफ्र के फतावे की आग मुश्तइल कर रहे थे. That he was one of those scholars who accepted the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, when other scholars in the name of Islam were raging hatred and fire not only in their own bosoms but also in the hearts and minds of other people that were following these scholars. He says that when he prayed to Allah the Almighty gave him a vision. In that he saw that a falcon is descending from the heavens. And when it has landed, he approached it, and he was told within that dream, within that vision, he's told that the Messiah has descended. So he dared to remove the curtain from the face of the falcon, only to behold that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian alayhi salatu wasalam is the one who's sitting in it. This is how Allah heard his prayer and guided him towards the truthfulness of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. The next story that I want to share with all of you is that of Hazrat Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, a young man, a student. You know, I have so many students sitting here before me. Picture yourself when I talk about this story. Imagine if it was you in the shoes of Hazrat Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, a young man. It was in the month of February. The year was 1892 and the city was Lahore in modern day, in present day Pakistan. Back then there was no Pakistan, it was just India. So in the year 1892, in the month of February, it is mentioned that Hazrat Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib and his brother, who later became a doctor, Dr. Mirza Yaqub Beg Sahib, they both were thinking of going and seeing the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. They had not yet accepted the promised Messiah alayhi salam. But here's the amazing thing. Both of these brothers had not told one another that they are increasingly becoming entrusted in accepting the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. And the reason they had not disclosed this is because they feared that there might be some retaliation. They belonged from a distant side of the promised Messiah alayhi salam's family. So obviously promised Messiah alayhi salam knew this family. It is narrated by Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib himself. He says that he came with one of his classmates to Lahore, to the place where the promised Messiah was staying. He says, मेरा दिल तड़पता था कि सादिक व मुरसल मिन अल्लाह की फौरन बैत कर लूँ. मुझे मालूम न था कि किस तरह हजूर की खिदमत में पहुँचूँ. दिल काबू में न था, यहाँ तक कि मेरी बुलंद आवाज़ से रोने तक नौबत पहुँची और हिचकी बंद गई. एक हम जमात मेरे साथ था. दरवाज़ा खटखटाने पर मिर्ज़ा मोहम्मद इस्माइल साहिब नीचे उतरे तो उनसे कहा कि हम दोनों तालिबे इल्म इस वक्त हजूर से मुलाकात करना चाहते हैं. हजूर अलैहिस्सलाम ने नहायत मेहरबानी व शफ़क़त से दोनों को अपने पास बाला खाने में बुला लिया. मैंने अर्ज़ की कि हम दोनों बैत करना चाहते हैं. हजूर अलैहिस्सलाम ने हमारी दरख्वास्त मंजूर फरमा ली. पहले मेरे हम जमात को बैत के लिए अंदर बुलाया. उन दिनों हजूर अलैहिस्सलाम हर एक से अलहदा अलहदा बैत लिया करते थे और 10 शराइत बैत में से हर एक की निस्बत तफसील वार बयान करके उस पर कारबंद रहने के लिए इकरार लेते थे. जिस वक्त मेरा हम जमात अंदर बैत कर रहा था, मेरे दिल में तजर्रो और खशियतुल्लाह ने और भी ज़ोर किया. उस वक्त 3-4 दफ़ा मेरी आंखों के सामने बिजली की तरह एक नूर की चमक नज़र आई. फिर हजूर अलैहिस्सलाम ने मुझे बैत के लिए अपने पास बुला लिया और फिर जब मुझे हजूर ने देखा तो फरमाया, आपके चेहरे से रुश्त और सआदत टपकती है. फिर पूछा कि आप कहाँ के रहने वाले हैं. इस पे उन्होंने जिक्र किया कि वो कहाँ से आए हैं और उनका ताल्लुक़ किस ख़ानदान से है। इस पर हज़रत मसीह-ए-मa'ood अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम ने इनकी बैत कबूल की। Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib writes that his heart used to be restless when he found out that the promised Messiah ﷺ is in Lahore. So he went with one of his classmates, and he says that he was praying to Allah Ta'ala and he became overwhelmed with emotions to such an extent where he started weeping out loud. He could not control. The question is, why was this man weeping? He was weeping because he wanted to see the promised Messiah that Allah had sent in this day and age. He wanted to go and give his hand in the hands of the one whom Allah had sent, so that he can give his oath of allegiance to the promised Messiah, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. He says that day one of his classmates was with him, who also wanted to accept the promised Messiah alayhi salam by doing his bayat. So both of them requested the person, it seems that this was the person in whose home Hazur-e Aqdas alayhi salam was staying in. So they requested the person, the host of the promised Messiah alayhi salam, that please convey our message. We are two students, we are here to see the promised Messiah alayhi salam. And graciously, promised Messiah alayhi salam accepted their request and asked both of them to come upstairs. These two young students went upstairs and saw the promised Messiah alayhi salam and said, Hazur, we're here. Your Holiness, we're here to give our oath of allegiance at your hands. Now imagine this. He says, back then, promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam used to take the oath of allegiance one person at a time. He would call a person in the room. The person would sit across the promised Messiah alayhi salam. The promised Messiah alayhi salam would hold the other person's hand, and then he would go over all the 10 conditions one by one, explaining their meaning in depth and detail, and making sure that the other person understands what he's committing to. And when the person would say that he is ready, then the promised Messiah ﷺ would accept his bayat. Nowadays, by the grace of Allah the Almighty, millions upon millions upon millions have accepted Islam Ahmadiyya. Now when we do bayat, we usually see bayat happening on MTA, or if we are lucky to be physically present in the same hall, where thousands upon thousands of people are accepting Ahmadiyyat by giving their oath of allegiance to Khalifatul Masih. We consider ourselves lucky. But imagine that there was a time when people would give their oath of allegiance to Masih-e-Ma'ood alayhi salam, one person at a time, with their hands in the hands of the elect of God. Look at the change that it brought in Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib. He says his father was very much worried about his sons, that they were not really that active in their prayers. Sometimes they would pray, sometimes they would not. But in the summer breaks of 1892 and 1893, when his sons returned home, the father saw something amazing about his sons. He saw that not only that they were praying on their own, the 5 daily prayers, but they were actually getting up in the middle of the night to offer tahajjud salat on their own. So the father was perplexed. He wanted to investigate what had just happened. And he was informed that his children, his sons, have accepted Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian alayhi salatu wasalam. Their father was so impressed by this change in his children that the father also accepted Ahmadiyya. The younger brother of Mirza Ayub Beg Sahib writes, बैत का असर इस कदर हुआ कि तमाम दीनी बेरग़बती काफूर हो गई. नमाज पंच गाना के अलावा तहज्जुद का सिलसिला भी जारी हो गया. उन दिनों मैं मेडिकल कॉलेज में पढ़ता था. दूसरे तुलबा का जो वक्त खेल कूद में सर्फ होता था, वो हम नमाज और कुरान खानी में सर्फ करते थे. इस तब्दीली को हमारे वालिद मरहूम ने, जो हमारी बेदीनी के सख्त शाकी थे, नहायत ताज्जुब से महसूस किया, और जब असल हालात उन पर खुले और हज़रत साहिब की ज़ियारत से मुशर्रफ हुए तो वो भी बैत में दाखिल हो गए. His younger brother says that I was not active in prayers whatsoever, and my father was worried about it. He said I was far removed from spirituality and religion itself. But when I did bayat, there was a remarkable change in my person. I was in medical school in those days, and whenever there was free time, the other students would engage in, different athletic programs, in sports-related activities. He says, but what I would do is, I would offer prayers to Allah the Almighty. I would read Quran. This was the change that was brought in him by accepting the promised Messiah alayhi salam. So much so that when his father saw his own son, he accepted Ahmadiyya. The next story that I want to share with you is that of Hazrat Munshi Muhammad Ismail Sahib of Sialkot radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. That when he accepted Ahmadiyyat, before he accepted Ahmadiyyat, once he was talking to his older brother and he said, you should read namaz. He said to his older brother, you should read namaz. You should pray to Allah. His older brother said, why should I pray to Allah? What have you gotten by praying to Allah? This got Munshi Muhammad Ismail Sahib Sialkoti radiyallahu ta'ala anhu thinking that my brother is right. What is it that I have actually gained by praying to Allah the Almighty? खुदा की इबादत करके, नमाज़ें पढ़ के मुझे ऐसा मिला क्या है? He said when he started thinking about that, he realized his brother was right. And as a matter of fact, he even ended up giving salat himself. He stopped praying himself. Until one day when he became Ahmadi. And now when he started to pray, his prayers were at a completely different level. One day he said to his older brother once again, you should read namaz. This time his brother had a different answer. His brother said, I will. He did not say, what did you gain? He did not even ask, what did you gain? He said, I will. And then he himself responded why he gave this answer to Munshi Sahib. जवाब दिया, अब पढ़ा करूंगा क्योंकि मैं अब महसूस करता हूं कि आपको कुछ मिल गया. He said, now I will read my prayers because now I also see in you that you have found something in your prayers, through your prayers. This is the remarkable change that was brought about in these individuals who accepted the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. Many of them were young people. There is another incident which was narrated by Hazrat Malik Maula Baksh Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. A very beautiful incident actually. Hazrat Malik Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that he was a very practical man. He had to rationalize everything, and if something did not make sense to him, he wouldn't do it. He would not take it. He would not believe in it. So, he had not done wasiyat. He had not become a musi yet. Even though when Promised Messiah ﷺ wrote the book Al-Wasiyat, he was there. People all around him started to become musis. And he was there, but he did not become a musi himself. One day, one of his friends, whose name was Dr. Saifuddin Kichilu Sahib, who had become a leader in the Congress party. It was a political party in India. So Dr. Kichilu Sahib had become a leader in the Congress party, who was friends with Malik Sahib. So Malik Sahib became worried that my friend has stopped praying. Kichilu Sahib used to pray, but once he became politically involved, he stopped praying to Allah the Almighty. So Malik Sahib one day had enough of it. He went to him and he said, brother, why do you not pray? Kichlu Sahib responded that the reason I do not pray anymore is because my political work is more important and significant than my prayers. It did not make sense. So Malik Sahib, who was a rational man himself, came up with few questions to ask his friend. And this is how the conversation went. He said, "Aap Musalman hain? Are you a Muslim, my friend? Kya Quran Majid ko ilhami mante hain? Do you consider that Quran was revealed by Allah the Almighty?" Kichlu Sahib ne jawab diya, "Manta hu. Yes, of course, I believe in the Holy Quran. And of course, I am a Muslim and I do believe that Quran was revealed by Allah." Malik Sahib ne kaha, "Phir agar Quran Majid namaz padhne ko kahe, to kyun na padho? That if you believe in the Holy Quran and Quran says read prayers, why would you not offer your prayers?" Dr. Sahib ne kaha, "Kisi kitab ko ilhami manne ke ye maane nahi कि इसकी हर बात मान ली जाए. Just because a book is a divinely revealed book, it doesn't mean that I should believe in every single thing it says. वही बात मानी जाएगी जो अकल के मुताबिक होगी. Only that thing will be accepted which makes sense to my brain, which makes sense to me, which seems rational to me. Only that is what I'm going to accept." आपको ये बात बुरी मालूम हुई. Malik Sahib did not like this. He did not like this. He came back and he started speaking to some of his other friends. That look what happened to our friend. This is what he's saying. Until one day it dawned on him. He said, "Forget about Kichlu Sahib. What about myself? Do I not believe that promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam is from Allah? Do I not believe that he started Nizam-e-Wasiyat at the behest of Allah the Almighty? Because Allah revealed to him to start Nizam-e-Wasiyat. And still I am waiting and I have not accepted Nizam-e-Wasiyat and I have not done Wasiyat myself." That day he became a Musi. There are so many of my brothers and sisters who are probably still in the same boat as was Malik Sahib, who was thinking that why is Nizam-e-Wasiyat for me? What's the rationality behind it? But look how beautifully Allah the Almighty made him understand that the promised Messiah alayhi salam is from Allah. Nizam-e-Wasiyat is also from Allah. So if you have accepted the first, why would you not accept the latter? Why would you not accept what the man of God who came from God is giving to us? My humble prayer and request is that every single one of us becomes a Musi. Because all of us have accepted the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. Have we not? Every single one of us knows for a fact that Nizam-e-Wasiyat is from Allah the Almighty. Is it not? Then why is it that we have not yet become Musis? At the very end, I want to share the thoughts of the private secretary of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Maulana Abdul Kareem Sahib Sialkoti radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He says that he used to have non-Islamic mindset. He used to think that religion is what I think of religion, not what Allah is telling me. And when one of his friends, whose name was Hazrat Al-Haj Maulana Nuruddin Sahib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who later became the first Khalifa, when Maulana Nuruddin Sahib was doing the bayat of the promised Messiah alayhi salam, my friend told me to do the bayat of the promised Messiah, so I did, without thinking too much about it. And then this is what happened. He says, bayat ke baad itna zabardast taghayyur hua कि खुद ही फरमाया, मैंने कुरान भी पढ़ा था, मौलाना नूरुद्दीन के तुफैल से हदीस का शौक भी हो गया था, घर में सूफियों की किताबें भी पढ़ लिया करता था, मगर ईमान में वो रोशनी, वो नूर मार्फत में तरक्की न थी. जो अब है। इसलिए मैं अपने दोस्तों को अपने तजर्बे की बिना पर कहता हूँ कि याद रखो, इस खलीफतुल्लाह के देखने के बदू सहाबा का सा जिंदा ईमान नहीं मिल सकता। उसके पास रहने से तुम्हें मालूम होगा कि वो कैसे मौके मौके पर खुदा की वही सुनाता है और वो पूरी होती है, तो रूह में एक मोहब्बत और इखलास का चश्मा फूट पड़ता है जो ईमान के पौधे की आपाशी करता है। He said that when I did the bayat of the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, I felt a spiritual light in my heart. Before this, he says he did not experience any light in his heart. But after accepting the promised Messiah alayhi salam, now his prayers were at a next level. His love for the hadith and Holy Prophet ﷺ was at a next level. And he says, my dear friends, therefore I share my personal experience and I tell you this truly. Yad rakho, remember this, that you cannot attain faith and spiritual levels similar to that of the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ until and unless you come and spend some time with the Messenger of God of this day and age, the promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, the subordinate prophet of Holy Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because every day, every now and then, he recites to you fresh revelation that comes from Allah the Almighty. And that is what ignites a spiritual fountain in one's heart. This is what takes you to the next level. In order to spend time with the Imam of the time, this is something which will take our faith, our Iman to the next level, our taqwa to the next level. And this was the purpose of the advent of the promised Messiah, so that our taqwa increases. Remember that quote that I shared with you from Tazkiratul Shahadatain, page 76? This is the end result of what the promised Messiah had envisioned. And I end my address today on a specific request. Our youngsters who are sitting here, the high school students, they have an opportunity to benefit. They have an opportunity to benefit from an experience similar to what the companions felt. And that comes through spending time in the company of the Imam of the time. Our Khuddam from Virginia region and elsewhere are going to, inshallah ta'ala, go to UK just before Jalsa Salana UK to volunteer their time, attend the Jalsa UK and spend time in the blessed company of Khalifatul Masih, Ayyadahullah ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz. My humble request is, please give your sons the opportunity to benefit from this golden, momentous opportunity that has presented himself. This way, you never know, maybe your children may also become like Hazrat Maulana Abdul Kareem Sahib Sialkoti radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, or other companions whose tales I have shared here today. May Allah the Almighty forgive us our shortcomings and allow us to truly understand the message of Masih-e-Ma'ood al-Islam and act on it accordingly. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.